Yo, Asta's devil powers right now, fam. I was just like, what the heck? So first of all, we've already seen Asta in a previous chapter go up against a giant ancient devil, and he did his thing. He took him down. And then now, seeing in Black Clover chapter 287, Asta versus the two devils of the highest order. And yo, he is on another level, people. This chapter of Black Clover, a lot to discuss. For starters, the whole backstory once again with Nacht wrapping up, getting the whole funeral scene or at the graveyard scene between Yami and Nacht. Just, yo, the hopelessness of the situation at the very least up until the end of Nacht, and him giving it his all and still at the end of the day showcasing that this is a next level of threat. And yeah, before I start really diving in, we got a lot to talk about. Without further ado, people, let's talk a little bit about that Black Clover greatness. It's about to get hype, baby.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
People, Asta's new devil powers are freaking insane. So we start off this chapter, which I gotta talk about it. I've talked about it already a couple different times, but I gotta say it one more time in this video about this chapter. That colored cover page, because Black Clover already, which I love to see it, it had the cover of Weekly Shonen Jump magazine. You got Asta with his new devil form, which kind of is a major spoiler for anime onlys, but whatever. I mean, anime is ending tomorrow, so yeah. But the colored cover page of Asta in his new devil form and in his latest form, it looks incredible. Like, I love the way they play off of each other, because one of them is like, that light green, and one of them looks like royalty, Yuno's design, and then the other one is just like this badass black and red. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I love both of them for different reasons. Like, normally I would just go straight away like Asta's design, black and red, that shit looks sick as hell, let's roll with that, that's the best one. But they are great for two very different reasons. Like, Asta's is just badass, and Yuno's is like that sick drip swagged out royalty. Like, I don't know, that was just one of my favorite colored cover pages probably of the entirety of this series, because it looked insane. And I would love to get more Yuno. Like, last time we seen him, he was kind of just fighting against this 100% Xenon, and yeah, that was a fight that I wouldn't mind seeing more of. I wish the anime wasn't ending so we could just get that maybe expanded on, but alrighty. And the chapter opens up with Nacht basically saying he doesn't care if he dies. However, he cannot die right now because he's basically in charge of this operation, so him dying is going to destroy everything. Basically, can't die now, I'll die afterward, which it just is another testament to the fact of the impact of his brother's passing and everything that happened in his backstory with the last chapter we got, and how much it has driven his character to where he's at right now, that he doesn't even care about living. Like, as long as he gets this mission done, fine, take me away. And I ain't gonna lie, I had a little tiny bit, like, I was in the moments, don't get me wrong, because this chapter really just showcased the level of threat that we're up against, because these are devils of the highest order. Let's not get it twisted. These are devils of the highest order of like the first layer. Like, I can't even fathom what the top tier devils are if these devils are what they were showcased to be in this chapter, because Nacht is like, yo fam, the devils I got contract with, they're mid. He said mid-level, but fam, I don't know, I imagine him saying, yo, these dudes is mid. And apparently because the power difference is so insane between the devils that he has contracts with, they really can't help him out much against the devils of the highest order. And not to mention the fact that the devils of the highest order have been playing around, but we'll get to that. I ain't gonna lie, it probably was just as sad, if not even more sad, than the full-on backstory of what happened to Morgan with, Nacht and that whole stuff, what we got last chapter with the graveyard scene of Yami there and Nacht. Because Nacht is, just there, like, distraught, which I wonder, did they keep Morgan's death a secret? Because how did, like, nobody really know? Even Julius didn't understand what was going on with Nacht being in the kingdom. Like, remember when he said, yeah, this is the vice captain of the Black Bulls? Like, nobody knew that Morgan died. They must have swept it under the rug, because again, that would have indicted the whole family, including Nacht himself, that the family was doing what they was doing. So I guess Yami swept that under the rug. But fam, when he went up and he said, yo, one day I'm gonna be a captain, I'm gonna have my own squad, and you need to be my vice captain so that we could get laughed at together. Oh, Ooh, I'm just imagining the panels in my head right now, I swear to God. With the raindrops, it was so perfect. And I love that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's happened a billion times in anime, manga, literature in general. But the rain covering the fact of when we get the point of Yami with the cigarettes and the teardrops coming down, which is like, yeah, it's raining and shit, but you can see it's placed exactly like if he's crying as he's walking away. And you can see at that point that that's when Yami picked up smoking. It wasn't just because of like, oh, Nacht is doing it, it's cool as shit. It was the tragedy of what happened to Morgan, his not partner in crime, you know, his partner, his man's, seeing his man's pass, that he said, you know what, this dude smoked, I'm gonna pick up smoking, I can't bear this right now. So that right there, just talking about it alone, ooh. But then we come back to the present time where Nacht is just there, like, you know, completely at a loss of what to do, and he asks Plumide and Wagner, yo fam, I need y'all to help me out. I gotta try this one final tactic that I got up my sleeve. Because he goes into this double union mode, Gallus and Felice, if I'm not mistaken, and basically he's using a magic that for a split second, for an instant, he can make one particular spell go from mid to the level of a devil of the highest order, and that's how he's doing this using Plumide and Wagner. And I gotta lie, the design even right there, that might have been a fave of mine, I'm not really sure, because Nacht has had already a couple of good redesigns with this whole, you know, using the different contracts and doubles and whatnot, but kind of looked a little bit like a Susanoo leaning towards a crow in a way, the way the armor was sitting on him and shit like that. But I was like, yo, Nacht, give it your all, let's go. And he uses a shadow magic, Monument of Atonement, which is basically like a casket, essentially, that he's going to try and trap the devils of the highest order in there with him, using this basically technique that'll boost a mid-level spell into a spell that could compete against devils of the highest order. And I ain't gonna lie, even as I'm reading the chapter, I'm like, yo, are these devils just insane? They don't have like common sense or something, because they're just, you know, hysterical. They're smiling as they're getting wrapped and dragged into this casket. I'm like, yo, what the what's going on? But the catch about that in general was the fact that also Nacht would be locked in there. Like if he was going to use that spell, it locks both of them in there because he has to stay in this Monument of Atonement, so to speak. So that wouldn't have worked out the greatest in a way, just because again, it would have been a self-sacrifice. And at the end of the day, yo, the devils of the highest order, I ain't gonna lie, this truly felt like a lot of different things were put into perspective in this one. And what I mean by that is, for starters, don't forget the fact that at the very end of the last chapter, Nacht was like, I'm gonna surpass my limits, right? And he technically did in this one with using the spell that he shouldn't be able to do because he's mid, or his devils are mid, but he ultimately did. So he technically surpassed his limits. But I love the powerful lesson that it's not really, it's more so like you gotta kind of get it. If you read it, you got it or you didn't. Like it's not just all in your face, in terms of the fact that surpassing your limits doesn't always necessarily mean you're gonna win. And that's, you know, a constant thing in shonen manga and shonen anime of like, you surpass your limits, you're gonna win. You surpass your limits, you take the W. He surpassed his limits and still he was going to die because they broke out of the damn freaking spell that he had, the casket, the Monument of Atonement, and they were just there. I'm there like, yo, it's also showcasing how high the stakes are and how dangerous the threat is. Like this, with these two devils in particular, I feel more scared of what they're capable of even than the Dark Triad at their peak, because at the peak, the Dark Triad, yeah, they felt formidable and it was like, oh shit, they're only at 80%, but you felt like you could do something to them. Seeing Nacht struggling using this spell that was matching them supposedly, and still it was nothing, it was like, holy shit. And top it off, the freaking spell isn't even physically existing, so how the hell did they break through? I guess one of them is a ice devil and one of them is a flame devil, so it kind of like melted the spell away. It's like really bizarre. It doesn't make sense in terms of physicality, but in terms of magic wise, I guess it would make sense because it's using magic on a non-physical property. And then after they broke out, was it just me or did it look like Plumide and Wagner were killed? Because you see like on the floor, it looks like, I don't know if was that a part of Wagner and Plumide, like could they possibly have been killed off in this whole scenario of what, you know, Nacht was trying to do? Did he have to sacrifice them to begin with, or was it when the spell broke? Like I was wondering like what happened. That would be insane if he lost two of his devils. Like it would also weaken Nacht tremendously. Not that he's really going to be that much capable after this point anyway, because yeah, he was on death's door. He's still on death's door right now. And then we cut back again, seeing the devils of the highest order laughing, joking around, and yeah, they've been playing this whole time. They've been playing it up like, oh yeah, maybe you got us, oh shit. Like they haven't been giving it their all at all. Like I think I want to say they said early on, like a couple chapters ago, like yeah, let's just have some fun with this. And yeah, it's very apparent to Nacht, which also showcases like what level of strength they are, and then what level of strength Asta is, which we'll get to in a second. But what level of strength they are if Nacht used a magic that was basically at the level of devils of the highest order, and it still wasn't enough to keep them at bay, which means they're even stronger than what we initially anticipated. Like, are they stronger than just devils of the highest order of the first crust? Did they somehow come from like the final crust of the devil world, and they just happen to be at this point, like they broke through? Because yeah, that's insane that he used a spell that's supposed to be keeping them at bay and would have stopped them, but they're way stronger than that and they were playing it off. Or it could just mean that devils, even at that first level, are that insanely strong. And then they basically say, we can't take it anymore, fam. We're gonna kill you now. Like, any last words, fam? You got any last little bit of things to say, mate? And as they're getting ready to kill him, they basically say, yo, fam, there ain't no human in the world that could take down a supreme devil. And then, oh my god, he's here! Because we got a beautiful double spread of Asta in his new Devil Union mode, chopping down one of those devils of the highest order, looking so freaking sick. You see, even looking at the page, you see Nacht's shocked expression like, what the hell? Because, you know, he just was training Asta not that long ago, and Asta just had a massive, insane glow up. And it seems as though, because we cut to the next page, and it seems as though like one of the limbs, one of the arms, the one that was reaching out towards Nacht, was cut off by Asta already, and these devils are kind of like puzzled, like, what the hell? And then they kind of put two and two together. Oh, it's anti-magic. And it ends off with Asta saying, what are you doing to our vice captain? And I just love Nacht's expression. He's like, what? But it also showcases the level that Asta's on. Like, you could argue that a lot of it is due to the anti-magic. Like, anti-magic against magical beings is hacks. But at the same time, the fact that he is taking on and taken down already an ancient devil. Now these two devils of the highest order. To what level can Asta keep on fighting these foes? Again, we have a time limit on this Devil Union form. So there's that's gonna, stop him from just taking on the world and shit like that. But wow, Asta, he shot up immensely. I still think, to be honest with you, like, even with his anti-magic, somebody like Lucifero or those three highest devils of gravity and whatever, they're not going to be easy to take down. So yeah, but wow, Asta, very impressive. The art in this chapter, especially the last couple of pages, oh my god. I don't understand how people were shitting on early on Asta's new design. Like, I get it, and I think there's going to be a little bit more detail added later on, but it looks awesome and it looked great. And yo, shout outs to Black Clover, man. We come a long way, baby. It looks so cool. But I'm curious what you guys think. For starters, you think this is it for these devils of the highest order? Asta is going to completely take them out. What did you think about Nacht using that spell that was supposed to be at their caliber, but they were stronger than that? Like, what the hell? How did you feel about that scene? Very, very somber scene of Yami and Nacht at the gravesite of Morgan, and Yami walking away crying. Like, just, this was a great chapter. This was one of my favorite chapters of Black Clover this year, honestly, and in a while at the very least. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the Black Clover manga with chapter 288 and beyond. I love this chapter. This was awesome. What a great way to open up with the big 6-year celebration and everything. Like, Black Clover greatness. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or hit that bell. If you subscribe, definitely hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links of course will be in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day, and remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And yo, Asta's Devil Union mode, I can't get enough of it. Shout out to Nacht though. He gave it his all. But these devils, the threat is insane. Like, this is the most menacing it's been in this manga for a long time. Yeah.